Let's watch this video.
The reason why they use DNA from the cells of other humans and other animals in vaccines is to trigger an autoimmune reaction. Now, I'm going to set this up for everybody.
I feel sick.
This is to make you aware. This is the autoimmune industry complex. Inject people without them asking or knowing DNA from other species and other humans into their body. You will wreck their immune system and create autoimmune diseases for life. Do you want to know how I know it?
No.
Real simply. Have you ever heard of a person getting an organ transplant?
Sure.
Yes.
Name an organ that they like to transplant.
Kidneys.
Kidneys are a good one. Yep. Kidneys, liver, hearts, right? You get all these, right? Lungs for pulmonary fibrosis. They have lots of organs they do transplants from. When a person you've ever known gets an organ transplant, that organ is coming from another human.
Yeah.
So they're finding someone who died or has sacrificed their own organ, and they're going to put that organ inside of your body. Let's give the kidney, for example. When they do that and they wake you up from the surgery, they then immediately prescribe to you 10 to 15 drugs for life that are called anti-rejection drugs.
Okay.
Your immune system's going to reject the organ and kill it. Why? Your immune system knows it ain't yours.
Foreign, yeah.
So it's going to go attack it. After it creates antibodies that totally destroy that organ, if you weren't on those drugs, that organ that you just received from somebody else has the DNA structure of kidneys. Guess what happens after it gets done attacking that kidney? It's going to be, those antibodies are floating around your body looking for what?
Kidneys.
Kidney cells, kidney tissue. They are going to then start attacking your kidneys, and you will develop autoimmunity of your kidneys, chronic kidney failure, and you will be on dialysis for life.
Jeez.
The body, we know, will reject and destroy any tissue that's foreign that isn't your DNA. This is a great design by God, by the way. Don't put other DNA in your body.
Right.
So now you put Cocker Spaniel DNA inside of a 6-month-old. You put hepatitis B inside of a 12-hour-old baby.
Yeah.
And you set them up for autoimmune diseases lifelong. This is why you get juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes,
Yes.
SIDS. Why did you get all these conditions of autism? This is
So
what they're
many
doing.
more diseases, malfunction.
Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I am the brother Chaya from GMS Indianapolis, the branch of Indiana. The original Gary campus, GMS, it will not tarry too. And there you have it, a short explaining the real intention behind these hokey pokies. Let me get a scripture real quick. Because the Most High made you with knowledge and understanding. And Esau, Edom, he uses what he has at hand, his money, his influence, and his research capabilities to repurpose you to his purpose. Psalm 139:14. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. So humans, or whatever you want to say, are a work of the Most High. Even they talk about computers. Well, computers are modeled after the way the human brain works. That's what they say. All right? That's Esau, Edom, he just studies. You know what? He studied destruction. Like the scripture says the wicked study of destruction, man. Proverbs 24:1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. That's why people, Jake, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, that's why they sell out. Tired of being broke, tired of being poor, want a piece of the pie, some crumbs. But what comes with that? The loss of your dignity. All right? And then when you get up there in these upper echelons with these people, you see what they really into, and it bugs you out. It says, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. So that's what they own. And people just straight up accept it. A conversation with a childhood friend I grew up with in the world, old conversation. You know, back in the day, niggas would get high and philosophize. All right, had these old deep talks or whatever. But I remember, we used to go back and forth about the elites and stuff like that. And he would excuse them to an extent. He would say, well, when you got all the money and the power, ain't nothing left to do but to control people. And it's like, all right, well, let's say that's the thing, to control people. All right, whatever. To this end, this the world you want to rule over? All right. You don't want a flourishing kingdom, right? A flourishing kingdom where everybody happy, right? And you at the top, and you super, everybody love you. No, you want everybody to be diminished, sick, hurt. That's wicked. And you take the Most High's creation and alter it and tinker with it. All right. Not to make things better, right? To make things worse, you'll lie and say you're making something better. But ultimately, it's to make things worse because you're the wicked. That's the only sense that it makes. Because if you're using your rational mind, why would somebody do that? You try to, what is it? Empathy. Empathy is when you actually put yourself in somebody's shoes and try to relate as if you was them. And they the wicked. That's the only thing that makes sense. It says, I'll read some of these. Genesis 9:4, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. All right. Leviticus 17:11, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Verse 14, for it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore, I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off, right? The life of all flesh is the blood thereof. And they study the blood, they tinker with the blood all the way down to the organs. And the Lord said, don't mess with that, don't partake of that, because that's the life of something. All right? And not only does he tinker with other humans, he deals with animals too. The first guy with a pig heart transplant, right? I think it was the beginning of this year. And you know who it was? A Jake. Ooh, he was a simple looking nigga. A simple looking dude too. All right. And guess what? He was dead 3 months later. All right. Of all animals, a swine. Come on, man. So was he part? And they got stories when people take the transplants, whether it be a heart or a lung, they end up duplicating the actions of the deceased person. Why? Because the life is in the blood, man. One guy received a heart transplant of a man who committed suicide. I don't know if it was a heart transplant or what organ it was. But anyway, after receiving the transplant, he ended up marrying that same man's ex-wife and ended up committing suicide in the same manner. You got other stories of people developing different eating habits after transplants. Like it was one story where a guy or a woman, whatever, fell in love with Italian food. Because the transplant he received was from an Italian person. You can look these things up. Another one, an old lady received a transplant of a young man, and she got into thrill seeking, roller coasting and stuff. All right. And while the Lord told you to not partake of these things, the devil, that's pretty much his bread and butter. They go out and hunt and wound the animal, and then the animal scared to death. Then they roll up on the animal, slit his throat, and drink the blood. All right. And then they transfer that because you scare them, right? To create more of that chemical, that fear chemical, and it's like a high. See, now why would somebody do that? It's the wicked. Psalms 62. Is it 62 or 64? Psalm 62, Salakia, Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. See, they study things for years, decades at certain times. Like crack, right? They were studying crack for 13 years in the basement of UCLA on monkeys. They knew the female monkeys would sell their babies for crack, sell their bodies for crack. All right, do any and everything to get it. They knew. Hell, they say one of the guys was smoking crack with the monkeys, one of the professors. And this is my personal belief. I speak as a man. I think all these elites and all that, they do all the drugs, but they got the cure. Hey, they got a plant out there in Africa. All right, it's called the iboga plant, and that plant is said to totally do away with any addictiveness. Like if you addicted to any drug or you got some type of addiction, and I guess it's illegal in America though. Years ago, they had an episode on Law and Order where a guy was on heroin, and the homozygous, you know what I mean, Asian actor B.D. Wong gave the guy an experimental drug at risk of his practice, and it was called ibogaine, and it was a heroin. It was, whatever. I saw the episode years ago, whatever. But it comes from the iboga plant over there in Africa. All right. So who knows? But this is what we do know. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So they ain't playing. They studying, they gathering information to do what? To destroy you. Evil men study of destruction. It says, verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. All right. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So now the truth coming out now. You got the one guy, I was watching Elder Yashawamba video earlier. The one guy, the executive of Pfizer, said that the whole right jab and the left jab in the late 2019 up until, 2020, 21, 22, that brought the world to its knees medically, right? The head of Pfizer said it was a hoax. And other things, different people coming out, exposing things, expose, insiders. All right. Not just disgruntled people, no, people with access and information coming out and saying, well, this was a lie and this was a hoax and this was the real plan. So when you look up, let me see, what is that?
Reason why they use DNA.
Gain of function meaning, right? Now, gain of function, this was a term, right, which is very popular during this time because gain of function research It's medical research that genetically modifies an organism to enhance a biological function, such as a virus's ability to infect new hosts. See, you got animals have diseases, right? Animals have diseases that are only transferable amongst them. But you got something called the Center for Disease Control. And we know that these people talking about the earth is overpopulated. And they say, well, how can we deal with that? Well, we can deal with that through VACs, reproductive situations in healthcare or whatever, right? And this is one of them. They constantly doing something to reduce your fertility. All right, but that's not enough because you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are as the sand of the sea and as the stars of heaven, as the scriptures say. All right. So he studies these things in different animals to make them transmissible to humans. All right. And when Fauci was real big a couple years ago during this time, that's something that you kept hearing: gain of function, gain of function, gain of function. Was this a result of gain of function? And he would lie and say no. All right. It says this type of study aims to better understand diseases, predict future outbreaks, and develop these and treatments by revealing how viruses. You see this? This is the AI overview. But you know what? Someone unenlightened will read this and eat this up. All right. Look, this is a lie. This is stupid when you read this. I'm about to go and and is the world more healthier or more sick? Go look at footage of the 1950s. Then when nobody watching a diet, everybody smoked cigarettes, drank alcohol, ate cookies and donuts, and nobody was fat. Nobody was fat. And matter of fact, fat then would be extremely acceptable now. All right. Now, I remember hearing stories of my great grandmother. She was always considered a big woman. And I seen the picture. I was like, well, that's better than your average woman now. You know? That's definitely better than your average woman now. All right. But then they'll lie. And you read this AI overview. Is this type of study aims to better understand diseases? Well, the Most High told you, don't deal with that. You're supposed to be dealing with the blood, not only of other humans, organs included, but animals either. But Esau, Edom, he'll give you everything. He'll give you a human, an animal, a crustacean, arachnid, an arthropod, or whatever it's called. Put a little camel hump in there. All right. This is Revelation 6 and 7. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Yeah. You pale. And his name that sat on him was Death. Yeah, you're deaf. And hell followed with him. Wherever you go, what did it say? Wherever you go, death and hell follow. Countries are destroyed. All right. Their morality is destroyed. Their spirituality is destroyed. All right. Just destroyed. I see death around the corner, that old Tupac song. Let me see. Is that? Habakkuk, yeah. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So you lifted up, right? You the king of the hill, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, but you just not right. And the whole world's seeing it now. Buying up all the farmland, everybody working for Amazon in some way, shape, or form or another. Right? You want the world to be total slaves. It's the image of the New World Order is a boot to the face repeatedly. That's what you want. Your paradise is a dystopia for everybody else. But the kingdom, but we the bad guys, and we not black Hebrew Israelites, right? But you don't even know what we preach. It's just the fact that you see what you see niggers, all right, saying that they're important and they're gonna be on top. But in our paradise, it's gonna be a utopia for everybody. Eventually, after 1,000 years of hardcore payback. But after that, it's going to be a utopia for everybody. As long as you obey our laws, the laws of the Most High, you don't try to tinker with get the cutting off monkey arms and trying to splice it. Yeah, you ain't going to be able to do that. We saying you ain't going to be able to do that, but you talking about putting a carbon tax on people. But we the bad guy. All right. Yeah. Also, because he transgressed by wine. Yeah, that's metaphorically for a philosophy. That's some of the wine we was just reading. Gain of function. You telling people this is what it is. People eating it up. Christianity, the way you supposed to raise children, the way you supposed to have sex, the way you supposed to heal yourself. Is all he got all type of wine. Take your pick. He got Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Merlot, Malbec, Shiraz. Hell, he got blends, Sauvignon Blancs. Okay? Chardonnay. He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, he everywhere, policing the world. Who enlargeth his desire as hell. What that mean? That he's insatiable. Okay? Hell, the scripture speaks about what? 3 things are never satisfied. Hell, the grave. Oh, God. Did it say never? Proverbs 27 and 20. Hell and destruction are never full. So the eyes of man are never satisfied. He's never satisfied. And is as death. Oh, Salakia said it. And cannot be satisfied. This nigga can't be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Right? And he been doing that piece by piece. What? The whole world speaks English. Hell, you can't even fly a plane without it. They use his money. They adopt his ways as far as what he says, culture. All right? And ultimately, it's going to be that CHIP, that potato chip. When it's not a potato chip, it's actually a digital identification, the RFID microchip. That's ultimately how he's trying to heap unto himself all people. All right. But it says what? That he is as death. All right. So Revelation 6. And what was it? 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth. That's the Americas, over in the Western Hemisphere. The 3 parts of the earth, or the known world. It was Africa, it was Asia, and Europe. All right. But this is the fourth part over here in the Western Hemisphere. To kill with the sword, yeah, America been at war for the majority of its existence. And with hunger, oh yeah, they'll starve you out. See what they did to the Native Americans, killed the buffalo, all right, the tonka, and then made a tonka truck, if I'm not mistaken. Because you say buffalo, you say tatanka. And I believe the tonka truck was in reference of the buffalo. I had to look that up. All right. But these devils do that. They destroy you and then commemorate it. They did that with the Bikini Islands. That's where they was testing those nuclear bombs at, the Bikini Islands. All right. And destroyed them people and then came out with a bikini. 2-piece. Women before wore long dresses to the beach. Thanks stealing. You see? And that hunger they're killing with hunger, man. All right? You got manufactured famines. These are always, hunger, that's what they do. Hunger, famine, starving people out. That's the ancient war tactic. That ain't went nowhere. It's just evolved. Now they'll just destroy your meat plants. All right? And destroy the crops, or let the crops rot, or create a situation, right, where you can't access it. Weather manipulation. See? And with death, yeah, and they like the scripture says, they are skillful to destroy. They trying to quantify a human life where you born in the conditions they create, and you live to produce for them, and then you still produce for them when you die. They take your body and oh, you're an organ donor, do what they want with your body. And with death and with the beast of the earth. See, they don't evolve from feeding you to alligators and wolves and throwing you in a lion's den and bears and sicking the hounds on you. Now they can manipulate the DNA of these animals and splice it with yours. And they can make a shekel off you in the process. Right? And what we saying is just such a big problem. Well, it's all coming out now. He the wicked. That's the only, like I was saying at the beginning of the video. Okay, be empathetic. Try to put yourself in this guy's shoes and make sense of why he's operating the way he's operating. He the wicked. Wrestle with that. He the wicked. What else makes sense? Second Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. See, he been revealed because we didn't know he was doing all this before. Certain people did, but it wasn't publicized. It wasn't broadcasted because it wasn't time yet. Or somebody might write a book here and there, and it might gain a little traction. You might remember Behold a Pale Horse? I think that was written in like 91. What, Ralph A. Epperson, Unseen Hand. The guys before that, Eustace Mullins, William Todd, all of the people. Prophecy Club, Prophecy Watch, right? They'll be exposed in the pagan holidays, right? No, but through this internet, which the Lord created as a medium for his word to get out and for the truth to get out, and how they've been revealed 24/7, double time, night and day. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. He being consumed. Everywhere he turned, he bumping up against a Spartan shield, a Lacedaemonian shield, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So if Jesus coming back, well, first of all, his name is Yahushua, and what he coming back to do? All right. Destroy the wicked. It says what? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? What is that? This is in Revelation. Because I said, what is he coming back to do? The son of the highest. His name is Yahweh Shai. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So the Lord gonna go to war with you. This is why you're seeing all those signs in the heavens and three-eye Atlas and the Space Force. Hey, because you ain't doing right. You don't get to do this on Earth. You don't get to do this and not nothing happen to you. Is you people crazy? So this is just life. He wins. The scripture says he have not set up the kingdom of death on earth. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 1:14. For he created all things that they might have their being, their purpose. And you devils, you Edomites, you try to repurpose the Most High's creation. But things going to go back to the way that he intended. And the generations of the world were helpful. Yeah, when it followed, okay, what he said to follow. Oh, gain of function research. We mess with the DNA of other creatures to better understand. Nigga, shit, nigga, man. Man, I was just about to say, I wish somebody would come and tell me some shit like that, man. And then you know what? And then they laugh at you people for believing this goofy, crazy ass shit. That's why they so proud and high-minded. Because that's how people believe whatever the fuck they say. And the generations of the world were helpful, and there was no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. See, you're a kingdom of death. We just read you are as hell and as death. We read that in Revelation 6 and Habakkuk. Malachi 1:4 calls you the border of wickedness. Wherever you go, hell, destruction, just a bad day. You ever had a bad day? You just remembered it. Your car broke down. You was late for work because your car broke down. Then you had to walk, and then it's raining. Then you get splashed by a puddle. You holding your lunch bag. Your lunch get wet. Just a bad day. Just everything ain't right. That's him. That's his rulership. And it can't be like that. It can't go on like that. It can't. What it said, that the triumphing of the wicked is for a moment. Like it says in Job. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And that moment is about ready to come to a close. All right. Like we read earlier, then shall that wicked be revealed. He gonna be revealed until he can't be revealed anymore. When can't he be revealed anymore? Is when he make a man an offender for a word, totally take the reins and the helm of the internet. They're already doing this ID stuff where you can't be anonymous on the internet no more. And just the simple fact that they talking about it, letting you know it's around the corner. First Amendment who? First Amendment your ass. Okay? And then after that, it's just time to wait for the prophecies to continue. But anyway, with that, Lord's will, I pray this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash Shalom.